I've been waiting for a while now for an MMA YouTuber to jump into this whole influencer boxing shit. We've got Jake Paul fighting the MMA fighters, so why not an MMA YouTuber get into it? After all, it is like a YouTube boxing scene. Now, I haven't really seen any formal fight offers been offered to anybody, but last week, Keemstar, the gnome himself, actually reached out to Guru and offered him a fight against the fan. Guru said no, it was an insult, he didn't know who the fan was and he wanted a bigger name, which is whatever. I personally don't think he'll ever take a fight, but let's see if we can sort of matchmake his run at Misfits if he were to actually take a fight and then carry on fighting. Now, first fight, and relax, I understand, I heard what was said, but the first fight I would say, take the fight against the fan. I know you're going to say that it's an insult and that you want a bigger name, I understand all that, and if you really won't fight him, I have got somebody else, but I think you should take the fight because his Twitter followers are deceiving. I know his Twitter followers are quite low in the grand scheme of things, but he is tapped in with KSI, he's tapped in with a lot of people, he's been on Wade's channel. He's a much bigger name than you probably think he is. Now, he's already started the angle of you talk shit about KSI, I want to make you pay for it in the ring, blah, blah, blah. If you went full throttle, bro, what are you talking about? KSI can't box, alright, I'll show you what's what in the ring, let's fight. KSI would 100% get involved in that. He would back the fan. He'd be like, yeah, go knock this guy out. And a quote tweet or anything like that from KSI, although, you know, you don't like him and not many people in the MMA YouTube scene like him or whatever, he is a huge star and any interaction of KSI would get that fight massive. So even if it is on some sort of happy punch prelims, whatever it is, it's an easy fight. So here's this little graphic I've made. It's an easy fight. He's growing fast, and he is growing fast, I promise you, bro. I know 8,000 Twitter followers doesn't look very, you know, appealing to sign and fight. Honestly, I think that Guru would smoke this guy, and I think KSI would get involved slightly, and like I said, say, go beat this guy up for me. But yeah, if you really won't fight him, then maybe take the debut against this man instead, SX. Now, SX is an actual good friend and collaborator of KSI, and he has that bigger name that you want. He's an established artist. He's got millions of plays on Spotify. You know, he's not a huge name to take the debut against, but it will get on the main card as well. It wouldn't be no misfit happy punch prelim. It would be actually on the main card. And again, I think KSI would maybe get involved in that, maybe hype it up a little bit more. I know SX just lost, but ultimately he is one of the bigger names and one of the easier fights in the division. And essentially that's what my goal is here for the matchmaking. Who is the biggest name, but the smallest challenge, basically. Listen, man, there's not many heavyweights around. You know, options are limited. So I think SX is a good idea. He would make the main card. And if you wanted to fight the fan and then fight SX, you could do that as well, because you would go from probably prelims to main card, which is obviously a natural progression. But yeah, I think fight the fan, fight SX 2-0. But if not, just fight SX as the debut. Next, Chase Damore. Now, he did just fight for the belt and lose, but I think Chase Damore is a bigger name than the belt. He had the brawl with Nate Diaz at that Misfit show or wherever it was. He would talk shit in the build-up. You could do the whole MMA versus influencer boxing thing. Say, I'm going to get back for Nate. I'm going to smoke this guy in the name of the fucking MMA community or whatever. And ultimately, a win over Chase Damore does gain clout. A lot of people know Chase Damore is from his stupid antics in the last few fights. He, like I said, just fought for the belt. So if you wanted to go for the belt instead, I will get onto that in a minute. But I think fighting Chase Damore, he's a big guy. I know, Guru, you're going to 6'3". I'm just saying, might be a bit of a harder fight, but ultimately, I think you could get it done. Chase Damore is probably the biggest name and the easiest fight you could take in that whole division. And he would talk shit in the build-up as well. You could build that one. So now, the Guru has beaten the fan, SX, and Chase Damore. 3-fight win streak, got paid some money for it. In the background, YouTube channel still growing. You can bit more leverage to negotiate. You've won a couple of fights. So now we're going to move on to some bigger fights, because I know that if you want to make a debut, if you want to skip all three of them guys and go straight for the thing, you know, you might make the argument, I'm not trying to fucking be a professional influencer boxer. I don't need tune-up fights. I just want the big fights. If that's the case, skip all of these people. Harley Morenstein, or whatever his fucking name is, the guy from Epic Meal Time, or go for the belt. Ultimately, I think being a Misfits heavyweight champ might not mean much, but they would market you heavily with it. There's not many heavyweights around, so I think that they're looking for somebody that can maybe talk on the mic a little bit. He's 1-1 at heavyweight. I think he lost his last fight, but obviously his stock doesn't really rise and drop. You know, with the heavyweights, it's kind of whoever can knock gas. If you just go full cardio, bro, I think you could beat most people in this division. Obviously, Harley is a huge name, probably one of the biggest names in the division, or the biggest. And I think either fight Harley or go for the belt. Harley might be a tough fight. I don't actually know how tall he is officially, but yeah, he's a huge guy. Huge name though as well. And now the main event, the one that I know he wants. Big Brian. True Geordie. I think the only way True Geordie gets in the ring ever is for a big name and maybe somebody he genuinely dislikes. I don't know what True Geordie knows of the Guru's channel. I guess maybe nothing, but at the same time, you take this run and you've beat 3 guys and you start calling out True Geordie, and there's all these clips of him talking shit of True Geordie over the years. I think True Geordie would take that. He would maybe see it as an easy fight, providing that you didn't absolutely smoke people like Chase the Moore and it was actually competitive in some way. I think True Geordie would come out, take the fight, massive fight, easy build up. He would talk shit. A lot of people would be tuning in just because it's his debut. And yeah, if you smoke True Geordie, like, that's big clout. So if instead of fighting Harley, you fought Tempo Arts for the belt, I think True Geordie would be more willing to fight then, because it would be for the belt and he could, you know, I know he's a combat sports fan, he would want that belt. And if you win, you're the face of the Misfits heavyweight division, or even the Influencer Boxing heavyweight division, because there's other people that I haven't mentioned, but these are just people that are associated with Misfits and that I think would fight on Misfits. Or if True Geordie won't do it, somebody that I think might actually get in the ring and might not be as big of a name, or maybe even bigger, I'm not really too sure. Man like Randolph. So at this point, let's assume that Guru, you did take every fight in this. You smoked the fan first round. You smoked fucking whoever the next guy was, SX. If he even fights, he might be retiring. I don't know, he just lost. Then you smoke Chase the Moore, and then you go on to Harley or Tempo Arts for the belt, and you're 4-0. Call out Randolph. Now, I know I've just made Randolph sound like the fucking final boss, and he's never had a fight in his life. Ultimately, I think he is one of the biggest names in that weight class that you could get on YouTube. He's associated with KSI heavily in the Sidemen. You know, that's so much clout, so much exposure. Like, the Sidemen will be right there ringside trying to, you know, come on Randolph, like fucking, and you could talk shit to all the Sidemen. You could get huge clout off that. That could take the channel to the next level. And I think he would fight, you know. I think he would fight, you know. There's a few of them in that little group, like Ethan, Bazinga, I think would fight. Randolph, I think, would maybe fight. So it's not a wasted call out. It's not a pipe dream. It could happen, man. Yeah, let's say that happens. I know this graphic says 4-0, but let's say 5-0. Ramsey MMA Guru Goldstein, Misfits heavyweight champ, 5-0. Ignore the 4-0. 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Tell me that isn't fucking cinema, bro. And if you've beaten True Geordie or Randolph or any of these people, the world's your oyster, bro. You could call out. I know I looked at the Misfits heavyweight roster. You've got John Morrison on there, you know, the WWE guy. I didn't really throw him on here because there's no, you know, there's nothing to that. Yeah, man, there's people like Jake the Viking and shit, but ultimately there's easier fights, bigger names. I didn't put Boogie or Wings of Redemption, although I'm sure Guru would have loved to have fight one of them. No! Stop. You can't call out Carlos Albo for calling out fucking Dominic Reyes and then be asking Keemstar to give you Boogie or fucking Wings of Redemption, bro. I think this is a good run. 5-0. It's a whole ass career, man. Influencer boxing, you don't need to fight for much. Them fights against True Geordie and Randolph would be bank. 2024 MMA Guru, The Fan, book it. I think The Fan is perfect first fight because I think, you know, that's, I know it sounds peak, but you could knock him out, bro. You could knock that guy out. But yeah, man. Let's go. 2025 heavyweight champ, Ramsey Goldstein, Kyle Kravitz, you know the boy. Safe.